All right. Thank you once again for joining this section. Last week, we were able to go through some of the theoretical part of this training, which is ETL development, data warehouse design, development, and implementation. So we were able to go through all that last week. So today, we are going to look at the practical section fully. But before then, I would like to remind us on some of the things that we were able to cover, because I'm sure we have some people here that were not in the class. So share my screen. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen now. So we are starting now. Yeah. So okay. This my screen is funny. All right. So we start now. So we are looking. We're going deep directly to practical section, and I know there will be a lot of questions. The essence of this training is for us to understand it, not just to come and implement it for us. It's for us to interact together, ask questions, understand it. Then, at your own pace, you'll be able to do it. And also, this is actually an advanced class. If you are new to database administrator, data analyst, SQL, we believe that you'll be able to follow through, but it's actually an advanced class. So I want us to listen and get it right from the beginning. And from the last class, we were able to explain the theoretical part, what is data warehouse, what is dimensioning, what is fact table. We're able to go through all that. So in highlight of that, so last week we looked at this. What we actually do in data warehouse is you are extracting data from different data sources, you are transforming data, and you are loading it to a data warehouse, which is a centralized location for the data. And what do we use? We use an ETL tool to be able to be able to do this. So an ETL tool, what an ETL tool is that what it will do is to extract data from the various databases, transform it, and load. Then we also talk about staging, data transformation, and production. Last week we also we explained that it is not advisable that you place your transformation directly. Yeah, you place your transformation tools on your production server. Like it's advisable you have your staging environment. After then, the transformation will be placed on the staging. Then from there it goes to the production environment. Okay, trying to. Okay, coming. I think it's better I have it this way first. I'm saying that way. Okay, so we have this. So the next thing we have explained is staging, transformation, and production. Then we also explain star schema and then snowflake schema. So we talk about the normalization, denormalization. So practical, then this is what we want to achieve today. So before we go into the practical, I know some of us might have watched the video that we had last week. We also have it on YouTube. So do we have anyone that has questions? Because if you did not understand what we did the last time, it might be a little bit difficult for you to follow through in this practical. So do we have any questions before we proceed to the practical?
Do you mind throwing more light on the star schema and the snowflake schema?
Okay, yeah, thank you for that question. The star schema, the reason why we call it star schema is because all single tables are connected to a central fact table. Single table, yeah, someone wants to talk?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Please, if you want to vote or ask question, please use the hands raising. We will be able to answer you. Okay, so welcome everyone once again. I can see some new people are joining. We welcome you all. So the question we have now is to expatiate further on the star schema and then Snowflake schema, because if you want to design a database, all the design methodology must be from the beginning of the process. The designing how you want the structure of the database to be, you have to be drawn from the beginning. So which leads us to understanding the star schema and Snowflake schema. So as I was saying, a star schema is in a situation whereby each dimension table is connected to a fact table, whereby there is no other dimension table that is connected to a dimension table before it is connected to a fact table. There is direct connection, like from the word star. So this is an example of a star schema. This central table is a fact table, while all these other tables joining it, their dimension table. Now, whenever we have another table joining to any of these dimension table, it means there is no direct connection to a fact table. In that case, it is no more a star schema. It is no more a star schema. It is a Snowflake schema. So why do we do Snowflake schema? To normalize the table further. And we're able to explain all this last week, I believe that. So this is normalization. When you normalize, what is the advantage of normalizing table? Techniques to avoid redundancy. When you normalize table, you avoid redundancy, you minimize storage, performance, to increase performance. And however, you are going to have a lot of table when you normalize, because normalizing means you are dividing a table to multiple tables. That is normalization. So I believe you understand the difference now between a star schema and a Snowflake schema. So what we are going
to
yes,
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. The practical I want to go into today is a star schema. It's just an extension of it that is a Snowflake schema. So it depends on the project you want to work on. That would depend on the type of schema that you want to use. Do we have any other question before we proceed? Okay, so if there is no more question, so we'll go directly to the practical. So now look at, this is what we want to do today. We want to be able to create this. This is the data warehouse. We want to be able to create this data warehouse. And what tools are we using? We are using SSIS, SQL integration service. That is the tools we are using for today's class. So let me start my Visual Studio. So we are going to create a new integration job. Create a new job. Integration service, yes. So the let's give it a name. Let's call it ETL class job. Okay, we have this. So that's the name of the project that we want to work on now. Okay, so we have this platform. So I'm going to explain how we make use of it. Another thing you can also do. You know, recently I got a requirement that the manager, you know, they want a report to be deposited into a repository, like into a path, a report in CSV to be deposited. That, okay, at every point in time, maybe every day, they want the system to automatically script out this information and deposit it in an Excel format in a path on their network, I mean, on their file server. You know, that is a scenario. That is a problem that we need to resolve. For you to be able to do that, we have a lot of solutions. You know, in database administration, you know, for every problem, there are many solutions to it. There are many ways you can look into it. One of the ways we can look into that such situation and resolve it, I mean, to be able to implement such projects, is you can use SSIS to implement it, whereby the system will automatically, at a scheduled time, the system will automatically script out those reports, get the reports in an Excel format or CSV format, and deposit it in your file server. It is very simple. So I want us to listen to and understand this process today. And if you have any question, you can always ask your question. So this is the database we are using. So we have this databases. So I have this, I created this of this class. The first database is production warehouse. If you remember last week, what we did was that the process is in 3 steps: the production environment, your staging environment, and your data warehouse. And I think I mentioned that your staging environment and data warehouse, they are together. When they are saying data warehouse, you call them together. All together are called data warehouse. Mostly the real data warehouse environment are data warehouse. So we have our production environment here. So we have these are the table that we want. We have these 3 tables. So like for instance, in this project now, these are the 3 tables that we want to load into a data warehouse. For us to do that, it means we have to design data warehouse. We have to design the pipeline, and we have to do a transformation, then load the data into data warehouse, which means at any time, because this is a production database, transactional database. Every time that users are using the application, there is an update on database. Whenever the user there's an input, they write into the application, they fill information, all those information coming into these tables. And with our implementation, depends on the schedule you have for your data integration from the production environment to the data warehouse. With this setup that we want to do today, automatically any update that we have here will be loaded to the data warehouse, and we follow the structure. And another thing we also mentioned last week is that for the purpose of people that were not in the class last week, the reason why we create data warehouse is because of reporting. In every environment, you have OLAP environment and you have OLTP. OLTP is the transactional environment, OLAP environment, analytical environment. The reason why we have this is because of load balancing. If you are using the same server for your OLAP and OLTP environment, you are going to have resources, constraints. You will be impacting too much on your resources, and with that, you will not have good performance. And as a database administrator, one of your responsibility is to make sure that there is always a good performance on your server, good performance on your database. So the essence of creating a data warehouse is for load balancing, whereby your reporting is coming from one side and you are writing into one side. You are writing into one side. So that's the essence of this project, creating a data warehouse. So we have this table, but this is what we want to achieve. So this is what we want to achieve. We want to have date table, we want to have fact table, we want to have payment table, we want to have product table. We want to have them loaded into the data warehouse. And presently, what we have here on this data warehouse, we do not have any table. You can see nothing is there. But here we have these 3 tables. However, before we go into this, I want to show us a little things on one of the usage of ETL before we go into this fully, like a preliminary to it. Now, we have a lot of tools here. I mentioned at the beginning of this class that one of the usage of this is, with this, you can schedule a report. You can schedule a report that this at every time, a particular time, the system will automatically capture a report, save it in a CSV or Excel, and deposit it in a path on your system. You can use it for that. Also, you can also use this for data migration. For instance, you might have big data that you need to move from one database to another database. In that case, one of the best solutions to use is to use SSIS, SQL Server Integration Service. So I'm going to demonstrate that now before we go into our designing and construction of data warehouse. I'm going to demonstrate importing data from Excel and putting it in a table on database. Also, getting reports from the database and depositing it in an Excel in a part on your system. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. Okay, so here we have a lot of tools here. We have data flow tasks. We have execute SQL tasks. So for that purpose now, we are going to use data flow stacks. So once I double click this, all the tools there will change. We have a lot of tools to play around with. So now for this purpose, now what we want to do is that we want to import an Excel from our system. We want to deposit it in a table on your database. Now I have my database here. Let's confirm that the table is not existing. Okay, let's make use of this our production. We can still drop the table. So none of the table, no table is existing here. So this is the Excel I want to bring in. I want to bring in this Excel. Okay, let me bring in this. I want to bring in this to the database. You know, you remember last week we talked about that one of the usage of use case of data warehouse is that you import data from different database systems. So one of the database system is Excel, which means you can import data from Excel, import from PostgreSQL, import from SQL Server, and put all of them to integrate them together and deposit it inside the data warehouse. That is possible. So we want to import, we want to bring this Excel, we want to bring it in into a database table, like importing, like migrating data from Excel to database. So that is what we want to demonstrate now. So we don't have it here. You can see the table. We only have the table here. So let's do that. So I have this. So I bring in here now. We have sources and we have destination. These are different sources that can be used for your data migration. We have Excel, we have flat file, we have OLEDB source. This OLEDB source have all the database systems there. But now we want to use Excel. We want to bring data from Excel. So this is an Excel source. And our destination is that we want to bring it into an SQL server. But let's set up this Excel. So as I click this here, I double click this. So this exercise is so easy because you do not need to write any code. You don't need to write much code. It is graphically intensive. So from here, I double click this Excel source. All I need to do is to bring in this Excel. So I come to new. Excel file path. This will route me to my system directory. For my system directory, these are the Excel that I have. So I want to bring in this particular one. I said okay. To come here, ask you for the sheet. That's the first sheet. So let me take off this. This is the Excel that I want to bring in. This is the sheet. So let me close it so that it will not affect me. So it is closed now. So we have this. We can check all the columns here. You can see. And you can also preview it. This is data you want to bring in. You can preview it. Okay, close. Okay. So I want to take this into a database. So I come here. You have destination. This is source. We have all these sources. This is their connection manager. This is destination now. We have all these connections too. So now I'm taking it to an OLEDB destination. So I take this up and I join this together. Double click this to set it up. You want to set up a connection manager for it. So here, this is where you put the type of saver, the database connectors, connection string to be able to connect it. So let's check this. Let's say new. We don't have it here. New. We want to set up the connection string to the database now. So here we are asking for database name. If you know it, okay, I can easily come here. This is database name. I have this. Once you drop this, it will automatically bring all databases inside this particular server. So these are all, but this is where we want to put it. We want to put it inside here. This is fine. That is all. You can test your connection. It's connected. It means we are able to, we are connected to the server. Okay. So here now, there is no, if you have an existing table, if you have created a table in that database, all you need to do is just to select that table and you proceed. For now, we do not have any table created yet, but we want this thing to create a table for us. So we just click on new. It will automatically create a query for you using the input parameter. These are the things that it's observed from the Excel using the input parameter. So let's give it a name. What name should we give it? one name, let's call it ETL. ETL. I say, okay, so this table, you can click on mapping. So this mapping will show you what is coming in and what is going into the destination. You can see input columns, destination column. We have all this. Once you are okay with it, you click on OK, and that is all. That is all. So all we need to do now to render this request now is to click on this start. So I'm going to click on the start now. Start. So it's going to move. So let's see how it works. You can see it's moving the data. Can we see? This will move 4,410 rows in little seconds. So let's go to our database and see if we have that table there. So it was on our prod environment. So let me refresh this. This is where we put it. Let's refresh this. Yes, we have it. Can you confirm that? So I can now right click on this and say, oh, view, what is there? So can you see? This is what we copy from the Excel. So we are able to get it. So this is the integration of data, migrating data from Excel. It could be from CSV file, it could be from CSV, from anywhere, integrating data from one environment to the other environment. So now let's demonstrate the second option, which is moving from database to a file. Okay, so let me come back here. Say, okay, I'm fine with this. This is okay. So let me take this stop. So I have this. So let me create another one now. So this is my data flow. I want to create another data flow. So this data flow now, I want to do it in opposite dimension. I want to copy data from the from database and put it in an Excel. So which is analogous to getting a report from the database, and at the presetted time, you can deposit to a repository. So now, in this case, now my source now will be the database. My source will be the database. And what do I need to do? I need to create a connection manager for this connection manager. So these are the existing connection manager. Is this what I want to use? I think yes, it's fine. I want to capture. Okay, let's look at what we want to capture. Let's capture this. Let's capture product. Let's see if we have anything there. Okay, we want to capture this report, this table. We want to capture it and put it in an Excel. So product using this. So I come back to this place. So it's still the same connection manager. You see on this production environment. Assuming we are using another database, I want to get it from another database. I will need to create a new connection manager. So now I have this. So it's asking me, what do you want to check? Table or views in that database. It's table or view. So I come here to bring all the tables and views in that database. So these are all the tables that we have. And what we need is product. I just click on product and I can check the columns. These are the columns. I said it's okay by me. It's okay by me. And I can also preview what is in there. So I can also preview. So I was able to preview this. Oh, this is fine. It's okay. It's okay. Then I want to take it to an Excel. So in that case now, my destination now will now be Excel destination. If I'm taking it to flat file, CSV, it will be flat file destination. So I'll just bring this Excel destination and I join them together. I double click this to set it up. Now Excel destination, I need to create to identify to the path that this thing wants to copy to. So I come here, I click on new. Which path? I come back here. I want you to put it in this path. In this path. So let me save it here. There's nothing in it yet. So let's write it there. So what should we call it? Let's call it ETL. ETL export. Export is in Excel. I just click on OK. So it will bring this here. This is the path. Just click on OK. Then there is nothing there. No what's it called? No sheet here. It's a new Excel. So it's gonna bring the sheet. Okay. No sheet here. Click on new. Click on new. Okay. Okay. So we have this here. So this is the new one I click. So I have this now. This is where I want it to put. I can check the mapping. You can see the mapping. This mapping is showing you what is coming in the input column and the destination column. We have this, we have this. Oh, it's okay by us. It's fine. Now I'm seeing this star. Why am I seeing star? You can put your cursor there. It's showing there's an error. So column product ID cannot convert between Unicode and non-Unicode string. Can you see this?
Can I
So
ask
this is, yeah, please ask a question.
Yeah, so at which point in this process do you transform data? Now, going by the definition of this ETL process, so at what point do you transform data?
Thank you. That is what we want to do now. You remember, we have extraction, we have transformation, and loop. Look at this. We want to extract data from the database and load it to an Excel file. But immediately we put this, we see this error. And what is the error saying? Column product ID cannot convert between Unicode and non-Unicode string data type. In that case, we need a transformation. We need to transform the data type of that column. So now you see where the transformation is coming in. So
Yes.
now if you come here, yeah, good. So if you check here, if you check database, what is coming in is different. So we need transformation tools. So what do? I take off this. I bring in the transformation tool, data conversion. So I come here, I take this, I open this. This is asking me that which column do you want to transform? I said it's talking about product ID. Product ID. You can see here I'm having string. And I think product ID, this is string coming from string. Okay, this is not Unicode. I'm coming. Let's take this off again. Let's take the error again. Forward. So the error is column product ID cannot convert between Unicode and non-Unicode string data type. Okay. From here, let's check. This is the table product. Let's check the this is the product in VACA. We have this, we have this, we have this. This is in VACA, we should not have this with this. Okay, so let's use the transformation tool. Let me bring this. We have not even started today's class, so this is just preliminary. But once you understand this, it will be easy for you to understand what we are going to do today. So you have this. This is a transformation tool. It's asking you, once you change it, this is the new it will create a new column for you. So this is the name of the new column. So if I want to change this, let me change this to 255. Just change the length because VACA is still the same thing as string, and that's what I want to import to Excel. So let's add this and see what this will give us. If this will leave us, I have this thing here. So if you check here now, we already have a new column here called copy of. So if I want to use my transformation tools, I want to take effect, I have to redirect this product ID. I have to take this off, delete, then redirect this here. Once you do a transformation, it will create a new field for you with the data type of the data type you inserted at that point of the transformation. Then you can now redirect it here. So let's click OK. Let's see what will happen here. We still have this error. We still have this error here. So let's try to run this first. Let me run it and see. No. Copy of column and product cannot convert between Unicode and non-Unicode string data type. Okay, let's change this. Come back here. Let me change this to test. So I have this mapping. Okay, let me just come back here. Let's use this table then. Space. Okay. Let's use this table. Review. We have this. Okay. Okay. So let's bring our ETL too. So we are going to make use of our transformation tool when we enter the main class. So this one come here. I pick this a new Excel, a new path. So we call it ETL extraction export Q. We call it this. We have OK. Then we'll come here to bring this for us automatically. Okay, it's not bringing. Okay. So I have this. Existing connection. Why is this in product ID? I'm not using product ID here. You have product ID here. Convert between Unicode and non-Unicode. Let me put all of them to strings. Okay, using this data conversion. Let's take only this. Okay, so that one has resolved it. The product ID. So this is customer ID 2, customer ID. So let me give it to Unicode. This customer ID. Come here. We are doing transformation already. Okay, here. What again? Payment cannot convert between Unicode. Can we see all this? So maybe what I'll just do is let me just put her. So let me see if I go with it like this. Let me just link her like this. Anyone that have this, give it to Unicode. Unicode. So mapping. To change is it change payment? Change payment. We change this copy of layer card. We change credit card. That one is change. I think it's fine. Can you see now? Hello.
Yeah, we can see.
Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, yes, we're
Can you see-
here.
Well, we
Can you see the effect? Do you see that we are not seeing the error again?
Maybe
Yes.
you will have to redo it, sir.
Okay. What happened was that, yeah. Okay, let me take this off again. Let's start from the beginning. So this is the source now. What we want to do is we want to extract data from database and load it to an Excel file. So we have this data. So now this is the source. Now the Excel file, Excel destination is this. So I bring this directly, join it here, double click this. You need to show them the directory, the path of that Excel path. So I click on new to create a path for it. So let's name this path now. This is a new path. Let's call it UA. So this is a new path now. I said okay. So here it's asking you for the sheet. So I come here, I click this. So it's gonna bring here now. It's gonna bring this. This is an Excel now. Just create an Excel, and you can check the column the mapping now, the mapping between the input database and the Excel. This is the mapping. You can see them, they are well mapped. Okay. After clicking on this, I have this error. What is the error? Column product ID cannot convert between Unicode and non-Unicode string. So in this case now, we need transformation. The destination element, the target element does not have the same data type with the data source element. So that's the function of the transformation tools. And transformation tools that we make use of is the data conversion. What this thing is doing, it will check your data type. What this thing is doing is that it's going to look at what is coming in and what do you want to change it to. From here now, what this thing is saying now is that what is coming in is non-Unicode, and an Excel file needs a Unicode, which means we need to transform this data type. If I come to from here now, this is the data type of what we want to transform. These are the data type that we have here. We have VACA, we have all these, but it's saying it's not accepting it. So that's the essence of transformation. So we want to do transformation. Now, for us to do that, I take this off, this connection off. I bring in the transformation tool, and I connect this from here to here. Once I connect it, it will give me all the columns. Now, what do I want to do with it? It gives me all the columns and give me a new name for all of them. If I change anything here, it means I'm no more. If I change anything here, I have to go to destination, take the destination mapping, and change the map to this name. I can rewrite this name or whatever. This is the copy of product. Now, what he's saying is this is non-Unicode, and what Excel is requesting for is a Unicode. So I need to change this to Unicode. That is to a Unicode. Anyway, I have this string. I think if I change one now, let's see what it's going to say. Let me just change one. Let me take this, join it here. I only change one, and I have not effected the change on this connection. I still have this error. Look at the error. Column product ID cannot convert between Unicode and non-Unicode. Product ID. So let me come back here. Let me come to the mapping. You see they are well mapped. They are well mapped, but product ID is still mapping to product ID. So for me to effect that change here, I need to come here and change my product ID, since I have changed the data type. But the moment I change the data type, it will create a new column for me. Then I will route it to this column. As I route to this column, let's check the error again. You see that the error has changed. It's not talking about customer ID. It means the first one has been resolved. So let's just resolve all here because of our time. So everywhere we have string here, we change it to Unicode. For customer ID, for this one too, we change it to Unicode. Here we change it to Unicode. Then now you see the change. This is the new column. This is the old column. If I click on OK now, nothing will still be changed. You will still have the error. Why? Can someone tell me the reason why we have this error? We still have this error.
Because you need to map it in the destination.
Thank you very much. So I just go back, come to mapping, and map them one after the other. So I think customer ID, I change it to this customer ID. Then payment to was also passed. I change it to this. Loyalty also passed. I think that's all. So I click on OK now. Can you see that you don't have that again? So let's run this package. This is a package. Look at the package name here. This is a package. And what we are doing is data pipeline. This is what they call data pipeline. You see how data is moving from the source to the destination. So let me run this. Can you see? So I enlarge this, you see the number of rows that is copied. So now let's look for UA. Let's go and find where we save it. Now we have UA here. Let's open it. So we are able to get all the information. So this is one of the advantages and one of the use cases of an ETL tools. Extraction, transformation, and load. That is what we just demonstrate. Good. So let me stop this. So we are going to go into the full course now. So let me, we are not using this. Do anybody have question on this before we proceed? Because once you understand this, it will help you to understand the order going forward. Do you have any question? Anybody have question here?
Sorry, when you were saying you brought in a transformation tool, what did you click?
Okay. We have okay, let me just come back here. Let me click this. Once we are on data flow, we have a lot of tools here.
Yes.
These are transformation tools. Look at this. This
Okay.
is what we use, data conversion.
Data conversion.
We have conditional split. We have the right column. We are going to use this. We have lookup. We are going to use this in this project tonight.
So which of those did you use right now?
I use
Data conversion, right?
yes, data conversion.
Okay.
Data conversion. Okay. Chioma is raising up her hand. Chioma.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did raise my hand up then. I'll take
Okay.
it
You
out.
have to unraise your hand.
You are just excited, Chioma.
If there was anything like that.
Okay. Do you have any other question?
No, I'm
How
fine.
did you make this show on the toolbox?
Okay. You can come to your own is not showing exercise toolbox bar.
I'm
Are you
sorry.
there? Yours is not showing this toolbox, exercise toolbox.
Yeah, I can. Okay. Just a moment, please.
Yes, we can locate exercise toolbox.
Okay, are you on control flow or data flow? Please
I
confirm.
think, yeah.
Are you on control flow or data flow?
Which it looks different. This is not SSMS, right?
No,
What are you
I
using?
know. Wow.
Sorry,
This
guys.
is no. This is not SSMS. This is
Is
Visual
this virtual?
Studio.
I'm sorry.
Visual
Yeah.
Studio, yeah, Visual Studio.
Visual
You
Studio.
can't
Okay.
find it. Yeah. This is Visual Studio.
Okay.
Visual Studio.
Now
Yeah,
it makes
all right.
sense. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome.
There is
Do you have any
different
other?
Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. Are they the same thing?
No, they are different.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, they are different. Let's answer that. Any other question for proceed going to the class? Okay, thank you, everybody. So we'll proceed now. So let me just take this off. This is just preliminary. Let me take them off. Boom. Good. So let's start our package. So what we want to achieve is we want to load to a staging environment, and from staging environment, we want to transform and load to our data warehouse. So that's the 3 steps that we want to do now. Okay. So okay, let's just go directly from here. You remember that what we said last week, that staging environment is almost the same, if not the same, with the production environment. The only difference, okay, with the production environment, it is after staging environment that you put your transformation tools that will load data to the data warehouse. And the reason why we have that is that we do not want to place the transformation tools on the production server. So what we are going to do just now is just to import the data from the production environment and import it to a staging environment. So now we have 4 tables to create on the data warehouse. So we are going to start with the product table. Product table. We have this is product table here. Product table. So let me open the table. So for us to see the transformation that we need to do there. Now, no, this is not product. Okay, yeah, this is it. So I want us to see the transformation that we need to do. Now, in this table, there are a lot of information, and it is not well arranged, not well structured. This product, inside this product column, we have brand, but brand is put in a bracket. This brand is supposed to be on a separate column. Are you with me? This brand is supposed to be on a separate column, not on the same field with product. Because with this now, it will be difficult to filter for brand. You might need a report that, oh, kindly find all the products that is for this particular brand. With this structure that we are seeing now, it will be difficult to do that because the brands are embedded inside the product, which is not good. So number one of the transformation we are going to do is that we are going to split this column for it to have product separately and have brand separately. Also, if you check, some of these table, some of these field are not aligned. You need to trim it so that it will be aligned like others. So, and some other things that we are going to do in transformation. But the first thing we are going to do now is to import this directly to our staging environment. It's on the staging environment that are going to do the transformation. Now, this is the data warehouse we are using. Both staging environment and data warehouse will be inside this database. You can see that there is nothing in the, no table here yet. So we need to create those tables. Good. So let's go back to our tools now. So let me delete all these connections. I'm no more using them. So we need to create a new connection for this project. Delete, delete, delete. So let's create a new connection to our production environment and data warehouse. To create connection, I just right click, new old LDB connection. So I come here, I click on new. So server name, it's asking for my server name. I can come here and get the server name here. Immediately you put the server name and your authentication is right, this thing will be highlighted. You'll be able to get all this information. So the information we need, let's create for production first. Production and data warehouse. Production first. Test connection is connected. Oh, fine. Okay. Okay. So I have production here. What I used to do, because when I'm working on in a real life environment, production environment, I don't want to make mistakes. I do not want to think that I am importing data from production to data warehouse. I mistakenly import data from data warehouse to production. So with that, I used to rename this. Rename and write it source DB. Then create another one for my destination. So I click on new. The same thing. So I come here, data warehouse. I test connection again. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Then I rename this. Call it destination DB. Oh, good. So we are fine now. So the first thing is that we are dealing with the product. We want to extract from the production to staging, and after that, we want to transform it and load it to to data warehouse. So the first thing we do is that we have two things here. We have data flow task and execute SQL task. We are going to make use of the two here in this project. So let's see. So the first thing now is the data flow task that we're going to use. If you either you double click or you drag and drop. So this, let me delete it again and double click. Double click is going to bring it here. And immediately you click on this, check this, it will automatically move you to flow. And all the toolbox you have here will change. So this is, I double click this, it automatically move me to this flow. So on this flow now, the first thing is that I want to move data from production to staging. So I come to my data sources, I have this, can double click or move. As I have this now here, so please can you see it clearly? Or is this small?
It is small.
All right, let me change my screen resolution. Display. I think this one, I've gone back to this thing. What was I using? Let's try this. No. Okay, let's try this. Keep this. Let's try this. Okay, I think it's better like this. Oh, no, it's still the same thing. It's supposed to be the same thing. We need it more bigger. Yeah. Let's see if we are gonna see it well like this. What? Okay, let me go back to see this.
Maybe you can zoom your screen.
Let me just start. Okay. No. Let's go back to its recommended. It's too small. Okay. Keep change. It's small. Let me see how I can enlarge this. This can be enlarged. Okay, let me use this option. There's this zoom here. No, too much. Okay, I have this. This is the data. Yeah, we are starting the project now. Let me delete this again. So what I want to do, what we want to do now is that we want to move data from the production to staging. Then after staging, we place a transformation and move the results to data warehouse. So now I've come to my source now, where the source. I already have my connection here. I double click this. I change this connection manager to source. So you don't need to be clicking on new again. Good. So once I put it on source, it's going to bring all the tables that I have on this source environment. Okay. Let's confirm that we have the no. I'm not. I didn't use the right database on my connection. It's not the one that is meant for this class is ETL. ETL production. Not that good. ETL production. Why this one is ETL data warehouse. It's meant for this class. Okay, good. We are good now. So I double click this source DB. Then I come here. You remember we only have how many tables? We have these three. Let's go and delete the one we imported through Excel. We are no more using it. It's just to demonstrate the usage of migrating data. So we only have these three fields here, three tables. So I've come back here. So the table that I need now is products. We are dealing with products now. We have products. We can check the columns here. Only these two columns. It's fine by us. We can preview it. Oh, we have data there. That's fine. It's okay. This is our source. Now, destination. Destination, if you remember now, here we do not have any table here yet. In some case, you can create the table on your staging table and your data warehouse table. You can create it before you move your data. But in my own case, most time, if you do it that way, you might have a little bit constraint of data type. Maybe what you are bringing in is different from what the data type that the system, the table you created want to accept, and you will have to be using a lot of transformations. But to avoid that, I will just create my table directly from here to the staging environment. So now, there's another tool we are going to bring in here. It's called lookup tools. Why are we using lookup tool? The function of lookup is to be an intermediary. We call it like in always on. We call it what do we call it? Witness. Is it witness? Is it always on or mirroring? We call it no. It's in mirroring.
That would be mirroring. Witness server.
Yeah. It's listener that we have. Okay, let's call it listener. It's a listener now. Lookup is a listener. Let's say it that way. So what this guy is doing is that he's looking at the two tables. Lookup is always at the middle of two things. He's looking at the two tables with the information you give him. With the information you give to it. That okay, look at with this parameter, look at the two tables. If there is any difference between them, do this. If there is no difference, do this. So now I'm going to connect this to the lookup. Once you connect to the lookup, you need to connect the lookup to the destination table. Because what the lookup is looking at is doing for you is to comparing what you have in the destination with what you have in the source. So now I come here, you have this redirect rows to no match output. What do we want the lookup to do for us? To redirect rows to no match output. It means when there is no match, after we have defined the connection between the lookup and the source table, then we now tell the lookup that whenever there is no match, what you have together, something that is, whenever you have anything different, move the data. And why do we have that? This is data integration. At the beginning, when you load the data, the next time you want to load an additional data, a transactional data, you are not expected, you do not expect the system to load everything again. So that's the essence of this lookup, for you to look at what you have before and what you are having now and move out the difference. So redirect this, we have this. Then connection, this is where we define the destination table, connection. So the destination is is on this destination, which is our data warehouse. So we do not, assuming we have the table, you see there's no table here, we just put it. But since we don't have any table, you can just click on new, it will automatically create a table for you. So I click on new and I come here, I call it product staging. Product staging, I call it this. Okay, immediately I click on OK. If I come to this place, you are going to see the table created. Let's come here. Can you see it? Immediately I click on OK. And if you check this, nothing will be inside. Nothing. So I come back here, it means I have a destination table now. Okay, so where are the columns? Since I already created the table, there is an existing column. So what do I want to look up? This is where you bring in your unique key. A unique key. Every table have a unique key. If it could be more than one. If you remember about the class that I say that you can make one column your primary key. In the case where you have order and you have other lines. So now, what is our unique key here? Product ID. I bring product ID. So what this thing will be looking at is it will be looking at the product ID from the destination table and from the source table. So if there is any difference between the source and the destination, whatever is yesterday will be transferred to the destination. The next time there is any load, it's going to compare again. I hope we understand. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. So I click on OK now. So this is set up. So the next thing is to bring my destination or OLBDB destination. I have this and I link this together. So once I link it now, I have this prompt. What do you want to do with this? The source or the destination component contain multiple input or output. Select an input and output to connect to the component. What do I want to connect? Two options. Lookup match output, lookup no match output. Lookup no match. Now, there are two things. Let me explain this here. If I choose lookup no match output, it's going to do what we want it to do. Like whenever the lookup has done its own work to get two information. The first information is it was able to determine that these particular items are already on the destination table. And it was also able to discover that these other items are not on the destination table. So two things. So what do you want to, from these two things, what do you want to import? I want to import what is not on the destination table. I have this. I have this. Okay, so as I have this, the other one, let me still leave it. We are still going to come back here. So I double click this to complete the setup. So I have this, I already click the connection. So I need to select the table. Since we already have a table, this is the table, is the destination table. It's the same table that the lookup is connecting to. So from here, I can check the mapping. It's well mapped, everything is mapped, it's okay, it's fine. I can view existing. Is there any existing thing there? No. Okay, then I'm fine. Then we have viewed the pipeline. If I run this pipeline, it's going to move data from the production environment to the staging. So let's check again what we have on the staging. If we have anything there, this is the staging. Let me right click, select this. No, we do not have anything. Now let me run this. Let me run this package now and see what will happen. Run. Good. If you see where you see the number of rows that is imported. If I go back to this place now, select, you are going to see something. Do we get that? Before we proceed, please.
Yes.
Is there any question before we proceed?
The jobs on the other side didn't seem completed. I didn't see like the the green signs on the other page. So I was like, do you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
have green everything. You have green on everything. The source, the
Oh, yes,
lookup,
yes, yes, yes,
and
yes, yes. Okay, I
so
see.
that-
I didn't see it before. Sorry.
no problem, no problem. So now we are going to see the number of rows that is moved.
Your
We are
video
gonna see
seems
everything.
very slow. I don't know if it's from my end or your end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it was there's some latency in the
Oh,
whole.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that is big now. Let me take this down. Awesome. Let me take this off. Let me take all this one down. Okay. So we have this. I think this is what he's talking about. Okay, so we have this. So the next thing we want to do now is we want to apply transformation to load this to a data warehouse. That is what we want to do now. So now we've been able to load it successfully to a staging environment. So I come back here. This is data flow. Remember, what we are doing is we are building a pipeline for the movement of data from one place to another. This is an ETL design. This is designing an implementation of data warehouse. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to bring another data flow. That okay, after
Sorry,
this,
can I ask a quick question? I'm sorry.
All right.
Now, once we did that first data flow, is this saved somewhere or is it established? Is it going to be continuous or is this saved somewhere?
Okay, that's a good question. Now you have this now. Immediately we ran this the query, we got this. I mean, we saw it implemented. Now, the way data warehouse works is all these things now, what we are creating, all this pipeline we are creating all of them inside one package, which is this. At the end of creating all the pipeline inside one package, you are going to deploy the package to your SQL server. Once I'm done with this, all I need to do is to come here to build this solution and deploy. Where's my build this solution and deploy? Okay, when we get there, we see. Okay, do visit. Can see deploy. Immediately I deploy this. This is where you are going to see it. Let me show you. Immediately I deploy, this is where you are going to see it. Okay, good. This is it. You are going to see it here. Integration service catalog. Immediately you deploy it from here, you are going to find it here. And once you find it here, you come here, you create an agent job. Let me create the agent job now. Create an agent job. Let me just say who are. You come to step. On this step now, you indicate that it's an integration service job. This is it. Can you see it? SQL Server Integration Service. Immediately you click this, it will take you to the package. You can see SSIS catalog. The server, you pick the server, this server, then you pick, once you pick it, it will bring in the package here. The package that you deploy, you are going to see it here, and you click on OK, then you schedule it. So what we do is that we schedule in such a way that at every, it depends on your environment, depends how you want to schedule it. But in my own environment, what I did was, I put it that at every, okay, the one I did was I put it that at every close of business, when I know that people will no more be using the, we have less traffic on the application, because if you run it, when people are using the application, it will reduce the resource. It will affect the resources, So it is better to run the app, to run the package, to run the job when people are not connected. Not that it will spoil anything, but it's better for better performance of the system. It's better to run it whether in the midnight or whatever. Once you run it, what the system will do is that it's going to come back here. The package, once you have the package there, even this, you can design it on your system, personal system, then deploy it to your remote server. Deploy the package to your remote server. Use your SQL agent to run it. At every time you run it, this pipeline we run. Remember, we use lookup. The lookup is to look at the two environments, the production and data warehouse. If there's anything different there, it's going to push it. If there's nothing different, it will not do anything. Have I answered your question? We have used time more.
Very nice.
Have I answered your question, Leslie?
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So the next thing we want to do now is that we want to move this data from the staging to the production, to the data warehouse. However, we need to do some transformation. And you know those transformations that we need to do. Let me show us data again. This is the data. One of the transformation, we want to split this column. We want to trim it, and we want to remove all these brackets. Those are the transformation we want to do. So let me come back here. So I come back here. I have another data flow. So I move this here. So immediately this is finished running this, it should come to this. So here I double click. I come back here. So now I bring my source. So my source database will now be what? Who will tell me the source database now?
It's in the
What will be
staging,
my source database?
the staging server.
God bless you. So I come here, my staging, which is on destination already. Okay. So I come back here. Staging is my source now. I can check the column. Oh, it's fine. Okay. This is my source. So, but after the source, before I get to destination, before I want to do transformation, but so the transformation is that I want to use derived column. Derived column. I want new column. So I just click here. Once I double click this, it gives me this dashboard. I hope you can see this in large. Okay, I have this. These are all the columns. These are all the tools that you can use to transform here. We have mathematics tools. We have string. We have a lot of things here that you can do. Remember, the first thing we want to do is that we want to separate. What's it called? Brand from the product. This thing. So all I need to do is the tool I want to use is string tools, which is this token. This is split. I can just bring this here. So what this thing is asking for, the expression, the delimiter, and occurrence. How many occurrence? So the first thing I want to do is that, so the expression is this, product name, product. So I come here, I change this, I remove this. So I bring in this product here. The next one, delimiter. What am I looking for? I'm looking for whenever I have, what is the criteria to split this? Whenever you have this, what do you want to use to replace it? No, I'm not replacing now. Occurrence. How many occurrence? One. What do you mean by occurrence? Occurrence is division. If I have this is dividing, because once you put this, it's going to divide that field according to the parameter that you put here. So this is going to divide this to this. Now, once you divide this, what do I want to apply? Do I want a new column, or do I want to replace an existing column? With this, I want to what I want to do now, after I replace, now let me come back here. This is what we want to do. We want to split this field, but we still want to retain this field. But what we are expecting there is only the name. We want the brand to be on another column. That is the objective. So I come back here. So I say replace product. So I come to the next line. I want to create a new this thing now. I call it brand. Yeah, at least I can change this name. Since I'm removing brand, I can change this name. And I come back here, the same tool, the same thing I use. I bring it here, but here now will be true. The second part of it is what I want here. So I have this. Now, see something, immediately I can look at the column now. The data type, Unicode string. Okay, this is fine. Immediately I have this. Let's see what we have. So this is creating a new column. This is replacing an existing column. So I click on OK. I click on OK. The next thing is the result is what I am taking to as a dimension table. So I come here, my OLDB destination. So I can create the table directly from here. Now, if you check this destination, if I click on this now, you remember that previous we do not have brand. If I click on this, you have the brand. Can we see we already have brand here? Because it has recognized it. That is now a new column. However, in this field, I want to include a primary key on this product table, on my dimension table. I want to include a primary key. So I can edit this query and say, no, I want a primary key, product underscore PK. So integer, and I call it identity 1,1. So I have this, and I come here and say primary key is this. So I just edited their script. I say, oh, this is what I want. I want a primary key for my dimension table. So, and the table this is product, call it dimension product. So I say, okay. Let's see mapping. Can you see the mapping? Well mapped. See that nothing is mapped to the product key, but product is automatic. It automatically generates its number. So I say, okay. Do you have any question before I run this?
No.
Okay. So if we come to this database now, let's come here. Let's see the table that we created on this is on data warehouse now. Let me refresh this. You can see the new product. Let's check if we have anything inside it. Nothing, but we have all our fields. So let's run this package now. Now, if I run the package, look at the package, everything we run together. So let me open it and run. Can we see? Good. So let's go back to that. Let's go back here. Let's run this again. So can you see now? Can you see the brand? See, we still need to do more cleanup. We need to remove all these brackets here. So what tools are we still going to use? We are still going to use our right column. So for us to do this now, since we already input it here, so let me truncate this table and apply that transformation. Truncate table. Truncate is truncated now. If you check, nothing is there again. So let's go back here and do a little bit of transformation again. So this transformation now, we want to undo it. So let me take this off here. Let me remove this. So here now, we still want to work on the brand. Okay. I can come here and bring another transformation to here. So it's going to give me all, you see. I know this one is a different thing. This data conversion. Derived column. So I have this. So you see, I have the new brand column here now. So, but what I want to do now, I want to replace. To replace, you have everything here. See, replace. You have trim, you have find string, reverse, replicate, everything. We have uppercase. If you want to change it to uppercase, what is coming in is lowercase. If I use this, it's going to change it to uppercase. If you want to trim it, you use this. So let's just use, we want to replace now. Let me bring this replace. So all I need to do is asking that what do you want to, character expression is brand. I want to bring in brand. It's inside brand. I want to replace something. So let me bring in this brand. What am I looking for to replace? I'm looking for this. Anywhere you see this, replace it with what? Replace it with an empty string. So I put an empty string here. So what do I want? Should it create another column? No, replace brand. And that's all. So I click on this, then I come back here again. I click on this, then we are good. So let's run the script again, this transformation. Great. So let's go back to our server. Let's check again. So you see that we cannot see those things here. So we are good. We are good with this. So we've been able to move the from the production to staging, then we do transformation, then to data warehouse. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Any question? No question. Okay, so we have this. So now I put this, I call it add annotation, I call it product dimension. Product dimension, have it here. So the next one we want to do now is let me close this one. That's it. Yeah. The next one we want is payment. Payment. So this payment now on prod, let's go back to production. Take this down. Payment. If you check, there is nothing inside it. There is nothing in here yet. And how do we want to get our data from payment? We want to get the data from sales. This is the script we want to use. Let's look at sales. Sales. We want to get the payment from here. What we need is this payment and this loyalty. So the script is this. Select distinct payment, comma. Okay, let me just say from sales, payment and loyalty card. So this is what I want to load. This is what I want to load into. You can see now, if you when we are talking about primary key, in this case now, do you see now that you cannot use payment, only payment as a primary key? So in this case, if you want to bring out a primary key from this table, you are going to use the two columns, because here you have a primary key must not be duplicate. You must not have repetition. So, but if you look at this particular one is, you bring them together, you link it together, they are going to be a unique row. Okay, so now this is what we want to insert into payment. So to insert this into payment, even on production, to insert this, so let's create a pipeline for it. Create a pipeline from here. So we can actually use, let's bring this for payment now. Payment, annotation, payment. So here now, you can change the name of all these things. I mean, all this name, all this data flow, you can rename it. So I have this payment now. All I need to bring down the source now. The source is coming from sales. OLED source is coming from sales, but it's query we want to run. Source DB. So here now, SQL command. This is the source. You can check the column. Can you see? And you can preview. This is what we are bringing in. Okay, it's fine. It's okay. Then here, do we need to use lookup? Okay, do we need to use lookup? We are just bringing it directly to it. Lookup. Okay, let's use lookup. The reason why we will use lookup is because if that is not the dimension table, and sometimes dimension table are updated. You know, if it is updated, it should give us. So let's use lookup. Lookup. So this lookup now is doing this. You know how to do this already. Connection now is still source. Why the table is payment. So in this case now, You join the two together. The two are, because none of them is unique. You put the two together. Okay, so we have the lookup, then you bring the destination. Where the destination? No match. To explain that, then all you need to do is to come here. This is the source, and bring in the table payment. Map is well mapped, so this is fine. So let me come back here. If you check here now, here there is nothing here yet. Payment, there is nothing. So let's run this. Great. So let's go back here and run it again. You have it. So now we have this. So but the next thing we want to do is to move this to we want to move it to staging environment. But in this case, do we need to move this to staging environment? Do we need it on staging? Okay, let's take it to staging. So if we want to take this to staging environment, you know, it's simple. All we need to do is to bring another data flow. Data flow, bring this in, then we'll make the source. So what will be the source database now? Please, what is the source database now?
Is it the
No.
product?
Yeah. What will be the
Product?
source database? Product. Awesome. Yeah, you're right. So the source database the product. No, source product. Is it product? No, it's payment now. Payment. You're on payment. You can preview. Payment. We are working on, we are through with the product. So this payment.
Oh, yeah.
Payments, yeah.
Payment. So I think this one now, do we need to put lookup? Do we need to put lookup?
I think we can put lookup because
Yeah, we
data
should.
might change.
Okay, let's put lookup in. Okay, put lookup. So this lookup will be looking at the destination. Destination, which is the staging. But you know, we do not have presently, we don't have anything, we don't have the table on the destination environment. So that means we need to create a new table here. So we call it product. Is it product payment? No. Payment staging. Payment staging. Okay, it's fine. What's this one showing? Sorry. Yeah, this connection destination, yes. And okay, it's fine. I think we already created payment. No, we don't have it yet. I've not clicked OK. Yeah, we have it. Payment staging. This is it. Payment staging column. So we just bring the two together. Then we'll bring a destination. You see that it's easy, just graphical. You're not writing query. No this. Then you bring in this. Please, if I'm too fast, please tell me. Oh, we are here to learn. Oh, please. If I'm too fast, let me know.
For the two fast, I think you are, but I mean, we are following, so I guess.
Okay. So what we just did here is just to move data from the production environment to the staging environment. This staging environment, we've not even moved it to so that's this staging environment now. Let's check. We're able to move it. Let's check here. The data warehouse. We have this. So it's called payment. So let's check the data. So the next thing that we want to do now, we want to move it to data warehouse. We want to make it a dimension. But the only transformation that we are going to do there is that we are going to add a primary key to it. That's the only transformation we are going to do to this. So come here. So we are through with this. Stop this. So which means we are going to have another data flow. in which the source now. Who can tell me the source now? The source. What will be the source database? What will be the source database? I'm not hearing people talking.
From staging, I guess.
Hello. Yeah,
What
you're
were
right,
we trying
you're
to
right.
do, Sam? We're trying to move from staging to
To data
what
warehouse
now?
now.
The data
Data
warehouse,
warehouse.
right? So the
Yes.
source database will still be payment, right?
Yes, which is staging, payment staging.
Yes. Payment staging, yes.
Yeah. So we have here, we come here, payment staging. So that's the only thing we need to do here. It's fine. Then we bring up our, let's bring up our lookup. So the only transformation we want to do here is we want to add the primary key connection. We do not have the table yet. So let's create a new table. For we need to add a primary key. So we call it payment PK. Integer identity not null. And we come here, we have call it primary key. So we have this table, so we call it dimension product. There is
Payment or
already,
product.
thank you, payment. Payment, thank you for that. Good. Okay. We need to map. We've not mapped. We only did this. We've not mapped it. So we need to map. So let's, since there is no primary, so let's just map this with this. Then we have a destination. We have this lookup no match. I've explained that. But please, if you still have question, ask question. So this is a dimension payment now. And the mapping, we can see the mapping is this. Good. This is fine now. This is fine. And let's run this. Good. So we are halfway. So now the next thing now, I want to show us again our objective for this project. Look at the objective now. We've been able to do two things here. The dimension payment, we are able to do that. Payment, yes. Dimension product, we've been able to do that. So the next one now is dimension date and fact table. Okay, dimension date. So date is not a changing dimension. It's a static dimension, as I may say. You know, because in a date table, you can have a day starting from 1 year till many, many, many years. So we are going to create a date table directly on the data warehouse. So let's do that now. So there's a script for that to create a date table. Date table, okay, this is it. So we are just going to create it directly on the data warehouse so that we know that we are done with 3 out of 4. Okay, so this data warehouse, new. So this is it. So just run this. Awesome. So this is our data warehouse. Let me refresh here. So let's check everything from the beginning again. So now we have 3 dimensions now. Remain fact table. Let's check the dimension one after the other. Date table. Date table, this is what we have here. Okay, fine. The payment table, let's check what we have. Okay, fine, good. This is what we need. Then the product table, this is what we need. All of them have a primary key and they are well formatted. So we have these 3 things now. The next one we want to go into now is the fact table. Fact table. So we're able to do this too. Let me bring this one down. We'll be able to do this too.
I have a question.
Oh, please ask the question.
Yeah, we just created the dates table, but
Okay.
we created it straight in the data warehouse.
Yes.
It's not coming from staging, it's not coming from the production.
Yes.
So how do we, what if the date changes in production, or where is the source coming from?
Okay. Thank you for that question. It's a very good question. Now, you know, this is the design. We are designing a data warehouse whereby we have dimension table and fact table. Mostly, dimension table are like tables that are not changing. However, we have slowly changing dimension, you know, but mostly dimension are something like there will be a change, it will not be frequent. Where we have frequent change is a fact table. Now, to answer your question, date table that we are bringing in is not the date, it's not your data date. It's not the date you got from your data. What we want to achieve is that we want to be able to connect the date table to the date you have on your data for us to be able to get more information about that data. For instance, look at the date table now. Let me open the date table here again. See what we have here. This table now, if I pick this date, this on January 1st, 2016, with this date table, I can get a lot of information on it. This January 1st, 2016, I can know which day of the week is it. You can see it's Friday. I can know which day of the month is it. Which day of the week is it? Are you getting me? Are you with me?
Yeah, I understand. Okay, just to filter the data at the warehouse.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to filter the data at the warehouse. So you don't need to update it. It is static. And if you check this date now, look at the beginning, 2016. If you see the end, it will be maybe 20, maybe 30. Let me order by date. Descending. Let's rerun this. Look at the end. This is even 2020. This one is not even much. We have some like 20, what can we call it? 2000, as many as. So it's a static table, it's not a changing table. So that's the reason why we just load it directly to the data warehouse. You don't need to have it. You have any question there? Someone asking question?
I'm not sure. It
Please,
looks
do you
like the
understand?
person is new.
Okay. So please, do you understand now? The person that asked the question.
Yes, I understand.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, so we'll proceed now. So the next thing now is the fact table. Now, let's look at it from here again. What do we want to achieve? What do we want to do? Number one, the main thing is that on the fact table, we want to have a connection with all the other tables, which means we want all the other tables to have a foreign key on the fact table. Therefore, there has to be an inner join. There has to be a join statement here. Then number two, let's check. This is what we want to make as our fact table. Let's go to production. Let's see if there's any cleanup that we need to do. Okay, this is the fact table. You can see presently we have the transaction date from this. For us to be able to connect those tables together, for us to be able to define those relationships, it means all of your dimension table must have a foreign key on the fact table. So with that, we have to find a way to bring foreign key of date table, of product table, of customer table we have, of payment table to this fact table, to make this a fact table. Then the other transformation we want to do is that now we call something conform dimension, not conform dimension. So here now, if you look at this, we cannot call it this summable. From here, you cannot we cannot aggregate. We aggregate this fact table. Fact table should be aggregated. I mean, that's why we have conform and not conform. So in this type of fact table now, we need to do a little bit transformation whereby here we have cost, we have quantity, we have price. If we want to know the profit, we cannot just say price minus cost. It will not be correct. It means we must have another column that we will have total cost, whereby you can multiply quantity by cost. You have that. You multiply price by quantity. You have that. With that, you can have your profit, whereby you have total cost minus total price. Are we together? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
We're here, sir.
Okay. So that's the transformation we need to do to get this done. So now, firstly, we need to move this data, and we also need to create a primary key for this table. So firstly, we need to move this data to staging environment before we start our transformation. So I'll come back here. So here now, let's put the annotation. So this is fact table. So come here again. Want to move it to staging environment. We come to source now. Source database is this. Our source is here. And our source table is sales. Column, we have it. This is fine. We bring a lookup. Connection, we connect it with the destination, though we don't have any table yet now. So all we need to do is what we need to do is we need to create another table for it. We call it sales staging, or should we call it fact sales staging? Fact sales staging. I think this all we need to do here. This all fact sales staging. Okay. Then we need to hide. What are we using to bring in? It actually has a unique column on its own, ID. So we are using ID to bring it. ID. If you check here, you can see the ID is unique. So which means it's looking at the ID. If the destination already has ID 1, the lookup will not take ID 1 to the destination. You have to filter it out. So we have that. We say okay. Then we bring the destination database. No lookup. We also put the same thing. Fact sales staging. Check the mapping to map everything. Okay, we are fine. We can run it. Take it there. Okay, it's fine. So now, if you go back, stop. If you go back to this environment now, we are going to see staging. For data warehouse, we see staging for sales now. Okay, let's refresh this. For sales, okay, staging, and we are going to see data there. Oh, we have data, but we need to transform this data. So the work just begin now. So let's start. Let's start. So from here, let's bring another. So it's already on staging now. We are going to. Okay. To come here, we bring another this. We take this. So let's make up the query that that's going to connect all these things together. That's going to connect them together for us to have okay, I have a query here, so I will not waste our time. Let me just bring, I think I have the script here. Can actually redesign the script. So this is the script. So we are going to check it together to see if and we understand it. So this is the script here. Let's bring this here. So we know what we want to achieve is that we want to on the fact table. What is going to the fact table should have the other things as the foreign key of other dimension tables. That is what we want to achieve. And if you remember, when on the date table, let me check the date table again. The primary key for date table is this. So it is easy to filter with date if you convert the date to this format. With this format, there is no space, there is no iPhone, there is no comma, there is nothing there. So which means for us to be able to connect our fact table to this, to connect our data to this, it means we must also format our field to conform with this. So look at this script. That is what we did here. Let me quickly just redesign this script. So this is from everything we have here is staging. Okay, this is from staging environment. This is fact staging. Fact staging. Why this one is dimension payment, and we have dimension product. Payment dimension product. Why is it showing? Why is all of this scattered like this? Okay. Okay, good. So I want to be sure that we understand this script. We can actually review this ourselves. So I think we still have a little time. Let's review this. Let's review the script. What our goal is that on the fact table, we want to have the foreign key of all other tables connected. For us to do that, it means that I have to be a joint statement to whatever script we are using to load data to the fact table. Okay, so what I do is that, so let's just do this from, let's say from here. So if you check this, you have this information, you have this information. So what I used to do when I'm creating something like this is that I have all this together from payment, then select the from product. So product. So what I used to do is I will just do this from top three, top three. So this is what I used to do. I'll just come here for me to be able to compare all the tables. So to compare the table. So from here, it is obvious that I can link, for me to link these tables together on this table, what is common between this table and this table? Payment. Payment, and you remember only payment cannot work because it is not unique. So in that case, that's the reason why we have this joint statement. Payment, yeah, and the loyalty card. Also, to join this and this is product. It means I will use product ID. Product ID is unique. So that's why we have product ID here to join them. And when they are joined together, so this does it. Select this from, so let me call this F, left join payment on what? On, if you are, it means the column that is related to both of them. I can say on F dot, if it is payment we are working on now, F dot payment is equal to, so let's call this D, equal to D dot payment. Also says payment, and F dot loyalty card is equal to D dot loyalty card. So the same thing with the other one, left join product on, so let's call this one P, F dot product ID is equal to P dot product ID. So if I run this now, it will give me the query with all of them. You can see all of them. All of them. So what we just did now is just to pick the useful one that we need. We don't need all this in a fact table. The main thing we need in a fact table is the primary key of the fact table, then the foreign key of all the dimension table connected with, and the measurement. That is what we need. So that is what we just did here. So you can see. So what I just did is just to pick the useful. I pick these, pick some of them. So let's continue with this script. So I can select this. Let's select here. We see the information that we got here. If you select, you get this. So this is what we want to bring in to our fact table. So I come back here. Okay, where do we stop? Okay, here. So we already have our source now. Source table. Our source table now is the here. So we are going to use query. So this is the source. Let's check the column that is coming. These are the columns. These are the columns. So here now you see we have FK, we have date foreign key, product ID, product foreign key, payment foreign key. We have all this. It's okay. So this is fine. So the next thing we want to do this is that we want to do little transformation. We want to finally load it to the fact table. And what is the transformation? We want to derive other column, the total price, total cost, and the profit. So we come to transformation, derive column. So I have all this column here. So for me to derive this, the total price is this one, cost multiplied by quantity. This will give me total cost. Total cost. And total price, you see how simple it is. Price multiplied by quantity. This is total price. So the next thing I want to do, I want to get profit. Profit is total price minus total cost. But it's not showing you. So let me just say, okay, it's fine. Let me put another derived column so that I can see all the other columns coming. So I have the total cost, total price. All I need to do is just to come here, bring total, is it cost minus price? Whichever one, cost minus price. This is profit. Profit. Okay. So if you check now, we have many columns now. This is what we are taking to our fact table. So what I need to do now, finally, is to bring the destination, link this. We do not have the table yet, so we need to create the table. However, remember, we need the primary key here. So I come here, so I change this to fact sales. Sales. Then I put the primary key here. Transaction PK. Integer identity 1,1 not null. So sorry, it is an advanced class. So I know some of us might not be able to follow through primary key. However, we are working on having a class, foundation class that will take through all these in details. So we are sorry if we are unable to get it now, but just have an idea that this is what is SSIS, and this is what we call, this is data warehouse. This is how we create ETL pipeline, and this is one of the ETL tools that is used. So we have this. So we can check mapping, can see everything is only here that we don't have. Okay, so we are good. Let's run this. Awesome, great. So if I come here now, we have all our data warehouse ready for usage. We are going to test the usage before we now open the floor for questions. So if you check now, the three things we remember what we want to achieve is this. We want to achieve this star schema with dimension, 3 dimension and 1 fact table. So now we have this. We have the date, we have the payment, we have the product, and we have the fact table. What is the use case of this? The use case of this now is that if there's any changes on the, now look at this now. This is a whole pipeline. If there's any changes on any one of them and you run this pipeline, it's going to integrate the data. So we are going to do a change to test that. But before then, I want to show us the use case of it. So I will open a Power BI now for us to bring in our database and see how it works, how we can navigate as a result of the statement, the connection that we have there.
Have you deployed it?
Good. It's not good. Deployment is for subsequent job. Immediately I click on start, I execute the job here, it automatically, run the integration job from the source to the data warehouse. So the reason why we deploy it is that we want to deploy it for us to be able to use SQL agent job to continuously execute the job, because we cannot be coming here every day to be clicking on start to run this. You understand? So that's the main reason why we deploy.
Okay,
We are
understand.
still going to deploy this too. We are going to deploy it and run it with SQL agent job. That's a good one. But you can actually, with this, you can make use of it. So I have this, I come here, get data, SQL Server, we connect to this. Let me use localhost. Our database, what's the name of our database? Oh, is this? So this is Power BI. It's one of the use cases of a data warehouse. Connect. Okay, so these are the table. We have date, payment, product, fact. So this is 4 tables. So let's load these. Okay, loaded. Awesome. Let's come here. Can you see? We already have the relationship. Can you see that they are already joined together? They are already joined together automatically. So the only one that is not joined was the date table. You remember, because so all you need to do is to come here. We already have date foreign key here. Is to pick this and drop it here. That's all. So we have the structure. This is the star schema. You can see one dimension table is connected to a fact table. If another dimension table is connected to this dimension table, it has turned a snowflake. It is no more a star structure, from the word star. So from here now, if I come here now, if I pick any of these, I can pick my data from anywhere. I can say, okay, I want to know the profit per year. I want to know profit per
instruction for with
per month.
posted on August 8th. So they are not there.
Profit of product brand.
For this weekly assignment, go to weekly assignment and scroll down to
Indeed.
8:22 and 8:26. The following assignment is due by 11:59 p.m. The next question is 28. 28. Research is has to research in human.
Please, somebody should mute. Somebody should mute. Somebody should mute.
So every assignment.
Who are?
Okay, person is muted now. So can you see the use case of all these? This is blocking me. So you can easily come here and perform your analysis seamlessly. Once you are changing one, if I pick any of these now, let me pick payment type, payment as a filter now. No, go back. As a filter, payment, this, okay, payment type. Let me just take this. As a filter, if I click on any one of them, it's going to change my list. So they are together, all the tables are now together. Seamlessly, you can do your analysis. That is the function of the data warehouse, for you to do your analysis seamlessly. You can pick any of the brand, whatsoever. So that is just this, that is that. You have the cost, you can see. You can put date, date of the month. So all that now. Okay, so that is the use case of the data warehouse. So let's work on the deployment now. Let's say we want to deploy this. We want to deploy it for SQL Server to be running it. So the first thing you do is that you come here, you build. I think we succeeded, successful. Okay, then we deploy. So this is how to deploy now. We want to deploy this next. So you see two options: SSIS in Azure Data Factory, SSIS in SQL Server. So we want to deploy it to SSIS in SQL Server. Server name, that's my server. Now bring it here now, or I type it here. Let me go and bring it here. Put this, connect. You see, fast. An integration that was not found on the server disk. To deploy a project server, you must create the SSIS catalog. Okay, I need to create the catalog. Okay. I need to come here. Let me come back here and create the catalog. Let's see. Create catalog. So have this. Enable name of the SSIS catalog. SSIS DB. Okay, let's use this. This and here, ETL workload with SSIS. Okay, so we have the catalog now. So we want to deploy into that catalog now. So we have this. So click on this. So this is the catalog. There's a new folder. What do you want to name it? UA. So this is it. Want to put it inside here. Next, deploy. Awesome. That's all. So if I go to my SQL Server here now, you're going to find it. You're going to see UA there. This is a package project. Can you see? You have all this. This is the package here. So now, if I want to run this SQL job, I come here, new job. Let's call it UA again. Step. New UA job. So here, this is SSIS. We have this. So server. Let me put my server name. So it's going to look through the display for you. Call up the package. So from there, you can automate the package. Okay, so let me just type my server name. Mega. Yeah. Okay, immediately you click that, this will be open for you. And come here, package. Okay. This is done. I need to come here too. To do this, I need to change this that time. Let's see if it doesn't work, then we'll come back here. So package, this is fine. Okay. That's the package, then this is the schedule. You want to schedule it. Let's say you want to schedule it to, okay, let's see, we shall do it like that. Okay. So you can see the job here. So I can run this job. It's going to automatically execute the package. You see the word error. So I just see the issue failed. So you can resolve that. I think it's as a result of that in itself that you change it to 32. Change it here to 32. 32. 32. Okay. So please ask your question now. We have time to answer questions. Okay. So look at the error. So question, please.
Okay.
Question.
My question is how to start this project on Visual Studio, because I just opened my Visual Studio and I don't see SSIS toolbox.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So Visual Studio is used for many things. Whatever you want to use it for, you have to download the extension for it. So for you to be able to use Visual Studio on to use SSIS on Visual Studio, you need to download the SSIS extension, Server Integration Service. If you want to, you can also use it for SSRS, reporting tools. You can also download the extension on it. So once you have it downloaded,
I downloaded the extension, but I don't think I saved now.
did you install it?
Yes, I did.
So when you install it, then you should be able to have this platform. So we can look at it together. So do we have any other person that has questions? It's time for question. This is SSIS. This is data pipeline. This is database designing and structuring. What we're able to achieve now is that we're able to create a star schema.
So,
Star schema that we have. Okay.
yeah, oh, sorry about that, sir. No, also I just wanted to ask, in my environment, right, we have a store procedure that they've written that runs some of these packages, but I mean, I don't really understand it that much. But where do you think the whole store procedure kicks the job? That does it just kick the jobs to run, or like where does it play a part? I'm just wondering.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
As we demonstrated here, when we deploy it, you use something to run it. You use something to run the package. So one of the usage is using store procedure to run the package. There's some package that has parameters, variables. These variables that you need to add those variables there. You need to put some parameters there. In that case, now you're using store procedure, you will be able to include those parameters before you run it. Also, you can also use job. When you are setting up your job too, you can also input those parameters. It depends on the type of project you are using it for. SSIS is not only used for data warehouse creation. As I showed from the beginning, that we also use it for data migration. You use it for a lot of things. There are some tools here now. There's this particular tool here, conditional splitting. Conditional splitting. The way it works is that it's going to look at the input, what is coming in, then you define it that, okay, when you see this, you define your input like a column. For instance, let's say a column that has gender column, that has male or female. So you can use conditional split that whenever you see female, go to this particular table. Whenever you see female, send all the data to this particular table. Whenever you see male, send all the data to this particular table. So you can use SQL Server integration tool for a lot of things, not only data warehouse creation. So your environment might not be for a data warehouse creation, but for data migration. When something is done on a particular server and they need to, like the way we have staging environment here, they need to move those things from there to that staging environment before they take it to another environment. So those are the use cases of the data warehouse. have many people here. Question. You have Kelvin here. You have Olu. You have Sheon Solomon. So ask question. Or is it that we all understand the topic once and for all?
I installed the extension, but I still can't seem to bring it up. Although I'm working on a different computer from the meeting I am right now, so I don't know how to.
I would have loved that you share your screen.
Or is there a way of loading the extension on the Visual
Okay,
Studio?
okay, yeah. Now the way it is now is that Visual Studio from 2020, what Microsoft did was
2022.
they try to remove some of the extensions as
Okay.
and they try to remove those things. Like on 2022, you cannot use SSIS there. On 2022, you cannot use SSIS there.
Oh, that's the
So
reason. Okay.
currently using 2019. So you might need to download 2019. 2019 is compatible with
Okay.
2019.
I'll
2019.
downskill it.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to get a video because so we can do the lab.
You want to do what?
I will get a video so we can go ahead.
Yeah,
to the
sure.
labs.
Yeah, sure. Immediately we finish this, we are gonna stop this and get it.
Right. Thank you very much.
Everyone, you're welcome.
Uh,
Mr. Daly, oh great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I actually saw you using exercise to solve the problem that we talked about yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Oh,
So
great.
I saw that it was way much easier to use the exercise package than PowerShell that we use.
Yeah, yeah.
I missed last class and I need to watch that video and watch this one along with it for me to be up to speed with the class. So hopefully by next week I think I should be able to flow very well with the class.
Oh, great. No problem. We are gonna get it across to you. So in addition to what you just mentioned so that project, what we work on, what we work on was there's a request that they want the system to automatically generate a report and put it in a particular repository. So, and we use the PowerShell script to do that. So also, this solution can be used to do that, which is what we demonstrated at the beginning of this class. All you need to do is to create a package and deploy it to your SQL server, then run it with SQL agents. So at every time that you schedule it, it's going to be dropping that report into the Excel format, into the file location, which is very direct. So thank you, Mr. David, for that.
I think personally, I will try it tomorrow with that same project. Try it tomorrow, and I'll reach out to you and let you know the outcome.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Alaka. Sorry, I'm
Yes,
new.
sir.
I'm kind of new right here. And I joined this class a little bit late. Thank you so much for your work you're doing. My question is, I might be a little bit away from SSIS, but maybe when I get to this video, I will understand more about SSIS. Yeah, I just want to ask something about the stop procedure. On the stop procedures, right? It doesn't really matter where we run our stop procedures, because when you go to like 10 dB, there's stop procedure in master in 10 dB. So is there anyone, if we want to run stop procedure, does it really matter like where we're going to run it from?
Yeah, I think I get you. Well, it depends on the way the stop procedure is created. When you create a stop procedure, you put some parameters. What they call stop procedure is just like you have what should I put it? That you create a view. I mean, you have a code. You have a code that do something at a point in time. You can actually have the code yourself and run it. So when they are creating the stop procedure, depend on how they create it, whether they define it that use at database or use at server. So it's going to look through all the server, or if it is database, it's going to look through all the database. Whereby in that case, you don't need to specify. You don't need to. You are not restricted on where you are running it, whether you are running it on master or whether you are running it on any other database. But there are some. If you can also create a stop procedure yourself. It depends on how the script is structured. It depends on how what the stop procedure is and what they are using it for. So And you can actually know, you can modify, when you go to the stop, you can modify it. We see the script. You see how it was defined. So from there, you will see if it is global, or if it is, in a local to a particular database. So do you understand me?
Yes, little bit, but not so, not really in detail still, but it's okay.
Okay, maybe if we do a practical of it, you'll be able to, to get it. Okay, while we are there, my screen still shared. Let me just show a one-stop procedure and to explain what the buttress on that. So this stop procedure, when I was creating it, I created on the master database. However, if I run it, I can run it from any database. You see, okay. This is it. This stop procedure. Look at this now. If you check this very well, if you check this stop procedure very well, with its parameter, this is index optimization stop procedure. Look at all the parameters now. Database, null. In this case, when you are running this stop procedure, you have to specifically, explicitly write out the database name. Because in the stop procedure, there is nothing there. If you just run it, the thing will just, it will not give you the desired result. So you need to specify the database in this stop procedure. So let me see other one that will on the, okay, you specify the database. Well, it depends on how it is created. And so most of the stop procedure, they are system stop procedure, like all these DMVs. You don't need to, it's not getting information, it might be getting information for the way they route it. The way it is
Because I hope that one of these days you have a whole session with stop procedures, and because it looks like it's something that is a big deal. It has so many uses. Yeah, it has so many beautiful uses that, if we understand it, I've been going through it myself in my environment. They make me play with it. So I've been learning about it, but I think if we have a whole session about it someday, it will be great. Thank you, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you very much. So do you have any other question on the ETL? So we just complete the course on the design, develop, and implementation of the data warehouse in an enterprise environment. So if in your own environment you are not using the data warehouse, it is wrong, because as database administrator, your one of your responsibilities is advisory role to advise your team that if you are generating reports and you are writing on the same database, it will be impacting on the resources, and you'll be having slow running. That's why you have slow running queries. Sometimes you are consuming your resources every time. But if you have a data warehouse separate, which is a separate database, then you have created a load balancing, whereby the user will be connected to different database. Once they are generating their report, they are on different database. Once they are writing to the application, they are on different database. With that, it will help. Another thing is that data warehouse is also for historical reporting. As we explained, it is not real time, because your scheduled job is running, even if you put it at every 5 minutes, this is not possible. It depends on what you are using it for. We have data warehouse, we have data mart. Data mart is a subsidiary of data warehouse. Data mart is what you design for specific purpose. Oh, this report is only on sales. So you design a data warehouse that have everything, and you design a data mart from a data warehouse, whereby anything on sales is on that particular. So in that case, now when you are creating the schedule, you can consider the timing. Okay, this is on sale. I use maybe every 5 hours, like in my own environment, my previous environment, what I did was, I automated a report whereby at the end of the day, at every close of business by 6 p.m. in the evening, the system will automatically generate the report and send it as an email to the manager. So this is an activity report. This report it will show what individual did. Oh, this person working in contribution department, this is your target per day. This is what you're able to achieve. So every day, the supervisor they get that report. And this is what I used to implement the report. I had a data warehouse and I created an SSRS reporting system, then automate it. So what I did then was I set the update to every at 5:30. So I know that 5 p.m. is close of business. Some people might want to work a little, but 5:30 immediately the job will start, and it's very, very fast. Within minutes, the job will end, and by 6, whatever reports, whatever data you have in the data warehouse is updated. So by 6, my report will be triggered, and an email will be sent to the manager. So with that, so it depends on what you want to use it to resolve, and it depends on your environment, on how and the duration and when you want to set up the timing for the integration job. Okay, so once again, I want to appreciate every one of us that come to this section. Thank you for coming. If you still have more questions, we are running above the time now. So thank you.